Hey Eagle sports fans, welcome back to another edition of the Eagle Sports Report, the 2012-2013 edition. I'm Apple Valley Athletic Director Pete Buesgens. It was an awesome year here in the Valley with 27 of our programs represented this year in state tournament action. Well over 1,000 student athletes used our co-curricular programs, and it was a great year to be an Eagle. Although time constraints don't allow us to look at all 33 sports and activities here at Apple Valley, we'll take a look at some of the highlights from the 2012-2013 season that was. Let's take a look back at our seasons beginning in the fall. Both the boys and girls soccer teams had excellent seasons this year. The girls were above 500 and had the #1 seeded team in the section on the ropes until the last couple of minutes. On the boys' side, they had another outstanding year with a 15-2-3 record. They finished as section runner-up, falling to the eventual state champions by a score of 1-0 in the finals. Congratulations to all the players in soccer. You made it a memorable season for Apple Valley fans. On the PI and CI soccer front, both teams had great seasons. The CI team finished as the state champions this year, led by Apple Valley's Joe Sandy. Joe was once again named to the all-tournament team. On the PI side, they also made it to the state finals before falling to Robbinsdale. Congratulations to Lance Estep. He was also named to the all-tournament team. This fall, we also had some individuals turn in great performances. In cross country, both Nick Hughes and Cami Shoquist made it to the state meet at St. Olaf College. Hughes finished in the top half, and Shoquist got some much needed experience as she returns to lead the Eagle girls next season. The Apple Valley football team had one of their best seasons in many years as they finished the campaign with an 8-3 season. It started with a home game here against Rosemont, and things looked bleak in the fourth quarter, but a late touchdown gave the Eagles a 25-20 victory, sending them on their way to a strong season. Their victory against Lakeville South, 28-27, ended with a goal line stand, and the team were on their way to a 6-2 South Suburban Conference finish that was good for second place. They started section play as the #1 seed and took a bye in the first round. St. Louis Park came to Apple Valley in the section semifinals, but they proved to be no match as the Eagles rolled to a victory. That set up section championship play here in Apple Valley against Farmington. The teams traded touchdowns back and forth early, but the Eagles pulled away in the end with a 49-21 victory and the Section 3 5A championship. That led the Eagles to their first trip to the state tournament in many years. Unfortunately, they drew a tough team from Totino Grace, the #1 team in the state, and the Eagles fell in the first round. Totino Grace went on to win the state championship in a game that many thought should have been the state finals game. Congratulations to Apple Valley coach Mike Fritzy. He was named both the section and the St. Paul Pioneer Press Coach of the Year for his efforts.
Go Eagles!
Also having great individual performances this year were two members of the Apple Valley swim and dive team. Apple Valley senior Delaney McDonald capped an unbelievable athletic career here at Apple Valley by making her 4th trip to the state tournament. During her 4 years, she has multiple all-state performances to her resume, and she will be greatly missed. Junior Gigi Galligan also made it to the state tournament in the diving portion of that meet, and she returns next year to lead the Eagles. Finally, Eagle Pride was on display at its finest at this year's Homecoming Pep Fest. What a moment we had when the lights went out, cell phones came out, and the teacher flash mob took to the floor. Who can forget the awesome sumo wrestling match between homecoming king Ian McKeag and our very own Mr. Dodge. And what a great time we had when Crunch from the Timberwolves came to our gym, had a great display of dunking the basketball, and ripped off his jersey to display Valley pride. It was a moment that I think everyone will remember, and it sent us off to an outstanding school year. Those are some of the highlights of the fall season. Let's take a look at our award winners from this fall. beautiful fall gave way to a classic Minnesota winter, and our next season's performers found it just to their liking. On the slopes, our skiers had an excellent season. 3 skiers participated in Minnesota State High School League state championships. Grant Udelhoffen and Rhett Carlson competed in the Nordic Ski Championships in Boabik, and Robert Hapke competed in the Alpine meet. All 3 returned for the Eagle ski teams next season, and we look to see all of them performing well again. 2 of our girls' programs had remarkably similar seasons this year. The girls' basketball team finished with a 15-11 record. The girls' hockey team, 15-11 record. Both teams also had signature overtime victories during the season. The girls' basketball team defeated a strong Rosemont squad 72-69 in overtime at Rosemont. The girls' hockey team also won a big overtime game, 3-2 at Edina. In that game, the girls scored with 1 second left to send it to overtime and then stunned the Hornets in that overtime frame. Both teams lost tight games in the section semifinals and hope to return to that game and beyond in 2013-14. Our boys swim team sent multiple members to the state tournament this year, capped off by an all-state performance by our 4x2 relay team. That team of Andrew France, Jackson Schulberg, Seth Berry, and Derek Olson placed in the top 9 at state, earning all state honors. Many other members of the swim team also competed at the U of M Aquatic Center and showed their Eagle pride in the pool. Thank you to those seniors for their fine work with the Apple Valley Swim program, and we look forward to seeing the new blood next year. Coming inside this winter, some of the highlights included the Aviators dance team. They performed excellent ninja routines in the always tough section tournament. They finished 3rd and found their way dancing on the floor of the Target Center at the 2013 state tournament. Also on the hardwood, the CI and PI floor hockey teams performed. The PI team made it all the way to the state finals before falling in the championship game. The CI team fell in the semifinals but bounced back for a 3rd place finish. Congratulations to Lance Estep and Joe Sandy, as both were named to the all-tournament teams. Our cheer team and figure skating programs were again in national competitions. This year's cheer team performed at state and also traveled to Orlando, Florida, where they competed in the Cheer Nationals. Our figure skating team was in Ohio this year, and they brought home many awards from the national tournament. Congratulations to both of those programs. Just doing it since 1976. That was the Apple Valley Wrestling slogan for this year, and no team in the state of Minnesota has done it better. This year was the first time, however, that the program was not under the leadership of former Apple Valley greats Bill Demery and Jim Jackson. Dalen Wasman took over the reins, and the tradition continued. Apple Valley captured its 8th consecutive state title and 21st overall, this year in a little bit of a different fashion. At the state tournament, Apple Valley was in a rare spot. It was not considered the favorites to win this meet. However, they battled through a couple of tough teams, including Prior Lake in the semifinals, and they were matched up with the 3rd-rated team in the nation, St. Michael Albertville. It was an epic duel with both teams battling back and forth, and finally it ended with a 28-28 tie. In state tournament competition, when there is no advancement, both teams were declared co-champions, giving Apple Valley the 21st state title in team history. It would be settled after that on the individual side, and Apple Valley crowned 7 individual state champions. Malu Wayward, Seth Gross, Dayton Racer, Mark Hall, Danny Wayward, David Johnson, and Paul Cheney were all individual state champions, and Gannon Volk was a state runner-up. When individual points were tallied up, Apple Valley had 210 to St. Michael's 164, giving Apple Valley the Minnesota Wrestling Coaches Association Individual Team Point Championship. They've tracked that for 9 years. All 9 years it has been won by Apple Valley. The team finished ranked 11th in the country. Congratulations to Coach Wasman, the entire coaching staff, and all of the wrestlers on another fantastic season. Finally, the boys basketball team came into the season with a target on their back. They were the preseason #1 ranked team in Class 4A, and all eyes were on Apple Valley as the 2012-2013 campaign began. An early season upset at the hands of Park Center knocked the Eagles from that #1 ranking, but did allow them an opportunity to refocus on what their goals for the season would be. They rolled through the South Suburban Conference, going a perfect 18-0 and capturing that conference championship. They went into section play as the #1 seeded team, and they lived up to that billing, outscoring their opponents by an average margin of 40 points en route to the Section 3 championship.
I believe that we may state! 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 I believe that we may state!
They were the #1 seeded team at this year's state tournament, the first time Apple Valley had been to the state tournament since 2009. The Eagles had a tough opponent from Brainerd in the first round, however managed to pull away at the end and capture the victory. In the semifinals, it was an old Lake Conference foe in Eden Prairie that stood in their way. The Apple Valley Eagles proved to be stronger in that game, and they won by 7 points, sending the team into their first ever state finals. Their opponent? The team that had defeated them early in the year, the Park Center Pirates. It was a classic matchup, and the Eagles finally pulled away to the victory. Tyus Jones ended the game with 28 points, including a perfect 18 for 18 from the free throw line, a state tournament record. Named to the all-tournament team along with Tyus Jones, senior Dustin Frank and junior Dennis Austin. What a great time it was here for Apple Valley. Our crowds were tremendous. Our student support was excellent. The band performance, outstanding. It was a great time down at the state tournament. Eagle Pride shook the Target Center as more than 13,000, largest crowd ever in Minnesota State High School League basketball history, witnessed history as Apple Valley captured their first ever boys basketball state championship. Congratulations to Coach Goring, the entire coaching staff, and the players. It was an incredible winter here at Apple Valley High School, as you can tell by those highlights. Here are some of our award winners from the 2012-13 winter season. It was such a fun winter that it didn't want to go away here at Apple Valley, and our spring sports had to battle through. Two themes come to mind for this year's spring sports: weather and youth. One of the highlights of this year's spring season had to have been our boys and girls lacrosse teams. Both teams battled through the elements, and both teams finished with records above 500 with youthful but talented rosters. The boys finished at 7-6 this year. The girls were 8-5. They had a great section tournament, fell to the eventual section champions Burnsville, but gave them all they wanted over on Blaze Field. Our baseball and softball teams spent more time indoors than they probably had ever imagined. The baseball team only had 6 total practices outside, but when they did, they battled like champions. Our girls softball team had one of the more successful offensive seasons in recent memory. They set a school record for most home runs in a season, and sophomore Rachel Goodman batted .488 on the season. They have an extremely young lineup with only one senior and look to challenge for a conference championship next season. Our track and field teams also had to battle the elements, and along with it came quite a few hamstring injuries as they were practicing indoors on the hard surface of a gym floor or the short distance of the indoor running track. However, at the end of the season, the boys and girls combined for 12 all-state performances in track and field. On the girls' side, the 4x100 relay of Joy Norton, Megan Mackey, Britta Dawson, and Jared Pipkins had an all-state performance and fourth place finish at the state meet. Mackey also competed in the 100-meter dash. On the boys' side, Scotty Madison finished all-state, 7th place in the pole vault. Connor Gross, 7th place and all-state in the 110-meter hurdles. Jordan Charles was the state runner-up in the triple jump, missing out on a state championship by a mere 4 inches. The 4x100 relay team of Quinn Hooks, Deshaun Lewis, Stephen Wilson, and Jordan Charles also turned in an all-state performance, finishing 3rd at the state meet. Congratulations, guys. Congratulations to the entire coaching staffs on a tough spring season in the track and field world. Your athletes displayed Eagle pride throughout the season. Finally, Apple Valley Junior Lauren Kerr was the last athlete standing. She competed in the 2013 state golf tournament, the 3rd consecutive year for Kerr doing so. She was also a member of the South Suburban All-Conference team for her performance, along with teammates Rachel Hardy, Erica Power, and Marie Breckner. Great job, Lauren. For the 3rd year in a row, you were the last Eagle athlete of the season. The weather made it a challenging spring here at Apple Valley, but many athletes rose to the occasion and earned awards. Here they are. Finally, some very special goodbyes from the Apple Valley Athletic Department, as almost 200 years of head coaching experience retired in the 2012-2013 seasons. First, longtime Apple Valley football, basketball, and track and field coach Mike Fritzy retired in the fall. Coach Fritzy had a great end to his football coaching career. Coach Fritzy was named Coach of the Year by the St. Paul Pioneer Press, by the section coaches, and he also received a South Suburban Conference Distinguished Service Award. He coached over 103 seasons in 3 different sports, working with thousands and thousands of athletes in his career. No athlete ever had a bad experience with Coach Fritzy, and he will be missed here at Apple Valley High School. Also retiring after 56 seasons of coaching in the swim world is Mike McManus. Coach McManus is one of the top swim coaches in the nation. He coached his teams to 4 state titles, 37 individual state champions, and 118 All-American swimmers. An unbelievable legacy left behind by Coach McManus, and those will be tough shoes to fill. Also retiring after 33 years here at Apple Valley High School is Rod Dirth. Rod has coached football and been our head boys track and field coach. Over 60 years of coaching experience with Coach Dirth, and he will be greatly missed as a leader of our track and field program. After 18 years behind the bench coaching hockey, Jerry Hayes has decided to step down as the head boys coach here at Apple Valley. During his time, he won 265 games, led the team to 7 section finals, including a trip to the state tournament in 2010. Coach Hayes will continue to teach here at Apple Valley and coach girls soccer, but his hockey days are no more here for Apple Valley. Finally, I'm honored to recognize the award winners from the Apple Valley Athletic Department. It was a great year here at Apple Valley, and we had many fine seniors that earned awards at the end of the year. Our AAA award winners, Haley Sampson and Mitchell Dawson. The 2013 Apple Valley Athletes of the Year, Jaron Pipkins and Jordan Charles. The 2013 Scholar Athletes of the Year, Naomi Olila and Mitchell Dawson. Our U.S. Army Reserve Scholar Athletes, Delaney McDonald and Brandon Kaplan. Our United States Marine Corps Distinguished Athletes, Megan Mackey, Joe Sandy, and Nick Hughes. And our Derek Rackley Scholarship Award winners, Brandon Kaplan and Haley Sampson. Congratulations to all of our student athletes and our coaches on a fine 2012-2013 athletics season. Thousands of athletes participated in our co-curriculars, and Eagle pride was on display every day in every place. Have a great summer. We look forward to seeing you this fall, and remember, it is always a great day to be an Eagle.